Good evening, everyone. Let's be going to see the presentation of cloud pentesting, which is the session is carried out by Mr. Rakesh Elamaran from the chapter of Chennai OS. Bro, is it audible?
Yes. Hi. Good evening, guys.
Yeah, bro.
Can we start?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Okay. Good evening, guys. So, thanks for joining today. Am I audible, right? Can you confirm me? Am I audible? Yes. Okay. Fine. Oh, sorry. I just refreshed instead of giving full screen. Okay. Before that, this July second week, I already delivered a talk on cloud security first. So if any of you attended those sessions, so some of the basic concepts would be you can find from here. The slides I have added in my speaker deck profile. We'll be seeing few very basic concepts on from this presentation also. So I just want to inform you this. I'll share this thing in the chat. Okay, we can start. Today we'll be seeing on the cloud pen testing topic. So a little bit bio about me, whatever. Okay, fine. Give me a second. Get a full screen. Okay, fine. I'm working as a security associate at Byte Blanket. So I'm a security researcher. I'm very much passionate about cybersecurity, and I do WAPT as well, which is web application penetration testing. I think my screen is visible, right? Okay, fine. Then I'm also a part-time bug hunter. I love to find bugs and report to the companies as well. Now I'm preparing for the CPEN certification, which is Certified Penetration Testing Professional by Easy Council. I'm taking the classes, trainings, and I'm slowly preparing for that. I'm leading a information security chapter for WAP Chennai. So then I love to mentor students. So a mentor and speaker, and also write blogs as well in technical blogs as well. Okay, so first thing, cloud security. What is cloud security? The practice of protecting cloud-based data and applications and infrastructure associated with cloud computing from cyber attacks and cyber threats. So in adopting cloud technology, security is the most critical issues, as we all know. So many organizations still fear that their data is not secure in the cloud environment. So that's where cloud security part comes. And cybersecurity is a subset of the cloud security where it differs uh, from the traditional security and the cloud security as well. So this is in short about cloud security. Trying to make it as a full screen view. So next, types of cloud: public cloud, private cloud, and and next one is hybrid cloud. So we know that private cloud, which is a server or data center, which will be distributed wholly to the specific to any one organization. Example, we can say Red Hat and VMware, they use as a private cloud server. And whereas public cloud, which is a service, it's run by an external vendor, which also include one or many or multiple data centers. So that's about public cloud. Unlike a private and public, though it can be shared by multiple organizations, whereas in private, it can be shared within one organization. Example for that is AWS and Azure and GCP. Those are all the examples. So what is a hybrid then, which is a combination of private and public? So in short, what we can say is, so if you want to have or if you're going to store highly confidential files, you can choose a private cloud. If you want to store some of the files that are not confidential, then you can go for public cloud, which means files that are not important, we can say. For hybrid, if you want to use the combination of both the private and public cloud, which is the types of cloud. So service models. So this is also a very basic term when we going to start about cloud security or cloud pen testing. We should know this thing first. Then only we can cope up with other technical terms and other cloud service providers, etc., etc. So major three service models, as we all know that, which stands for. I didn't make a deep in-depth explanation as it said. Those things you can find from this slide. So I just want to touch this basics. So SaaS stands for software as a service, and PaaS platform as a service, and IaaS infrastructure as a service. So these are all the technology or components we can say which are involved with the all the service models. Cloud hosted applications and database management and development tools, operating systems, and the servers, networking, storage, and also physical data center when it comes to infrastructure as a service. Okay, so we'll start with software as a service, which is SaaS, the first one. Instead of users installing an application on their devices, so what SaaS applications will do is they will be hosted on cloud servers, and the users can access them over the internet. So example industries we can say Zogo is using software as a service and Salesforce is using. So that is a software as a service model. And platform as a service, like take this as an example, companies don't pay for hosted applications, but they pay for the things they need to build their own applications. So which means they will offer everything necessary for building an application. It can be tools or infrastructure, operating systems, and over the internet. Okay, so example for this are Heroku and Google App Engine. Heroku we all know that it's one of the application where we most of them developed our own portfolio, and we may have hosted our portfolio in Heroku application. And then infrastructure as a service, which is the third type or third service. Here a company will rent the servers and storage they need from a cloud provider. Then they will use the cloud infrastructure to build their own application. So basically they will rent everything including server storage, but on top of it they're going to build all those applications for the companies. So example would be OpenStack and VMware, we can say. So this is the very basic thing to start with. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. I think now my screen is in full screen. Okay, I think which cloud used most? GCP with AWS with Azure in industry. Okay, I'll be covering those things. The next slide, the very next slide will answer your question. My full screen is not okay. Sorry about that. Yes, fine. So you asked, right? So I'll be starting with the AWS because the major reason, and I'm putting a disclaimer that it doesn't mean that other providers, other cloud service providers like Google or IBM, Alibaba, Azure, etc., so are not bad or something like that. So why AWS? For major three reasons we can say. It has been around the longest. So Amazon introduced web services in 2006, whereas IBM, it didn't become public, but they still have the cloud until 2009. So and initially we have as Google Cloud or Google App Engine that was released in 2008. So it has been around the longest since 2006, and we all know that AWS lots and lots of services. So that's the first point, and you get a year to test it out for free, which is AWS free tier. So with this facility, or we can able to work on all the AWS services that are provided for a limited, which is you can use that for 12 months, and you need to create an account by giving your card details like that. And this going to be deliver you a complete hands-on experience with the AWS cloud platform before you can commit to a full cloud migration. And I mean, you can use everything for free, and then you can decide whether you want to migrate it to AWS, or you need to choose different cloud service provider, or what's going to happen next, so that you can decide those things next. So this is one of the major advantage, whereas other service providers are also giving these kind of usages for free, like quick labs we can take for Google. So although all the cloud service providers is doing these things, and it's one of the reason it is so much bigger than its competitor. So yes, Gartner, that is, they estimated and prepared a report. So what it says is AWS has more than 10 times the computing capacity of the next 14 largest infrastructure cloud vendors combined. So this answers the question. So AWS has multiple data centers located across the globe. AWS is globally present, and most of the companies are using AWS because of all the different types of services they are providing, and very good uh, services they have, like AWS Cloud Trail, CloudWatch, etc. So I'll be showing some of the services they are using. So that's the reason. And I will tell you some real-time scenario how the threats or identification is happening in the cloud. So it is done in three stages in the cloud. So first of all, the monitoring data, and the second is gaining visibility, and the third point is managing access. So we'll take one real-time example. So you are using a Facebook. So you are going to get some random message from a stranger, or we can tell you are getting a random message from attacker. So the message states that click here to get 1,000 rupees off on this product or something like that. So by mistake, if you click without knowing or without any security awareness, so that's going to be a spam, right? And the attacker may have coded the particular phishing URL with some kind of very serious informations, or very serious data breach will happen, like how we can like how I will explain. So the moment you click, so he will be programmed like, so that all your friends getting the same spam message in their inbox. So what's going to happen next? So you don't know what happened. You just clicked that message what you got, and you don't know what exactly happened. Then you are going to contact the FB support team. So but instead, before you informing them to the Facebook support team, so they already got to know about this. So how they got to know? So it's on big question mark, right? So we will be seeing this. So the first one is monitoring data, which is ML algorithms. What they will do is, by using the machine learning algorithms, so they will monitor the entire applications and then flag the event. So this will exactly knows what the normal system behavior is, and it will also identify if there is any deviation happens in the happens from the normal system. So then the next moment it will create an alarm. The alarm will be triggered. Then the alarm will be monitored by the cloud security experts. So that's the stage two, which is gaining visibility. The alarm will be triggered, right? So the gaining visibility, the experts will be here in the phase two. They should first identify what caused the problem and who did it. So that's the like finding a root cause. So the experts will start look into it. And managing access, so what it's going to do is, it will give you a list of users who have that particular access and then wipe out from the system. So this is the final phase, and it will remove the unwanted user, because this is the entire control phase, whereas the users will be managed from the original server. So it can these people, or in this step, the resource persons or the experts will kick out the stranger or attacker, we can say. So they will wipe out from the user and the server will be back. So this is how the threat identification is happening. So this some real-time example, with this real-time example, I think you can able to grab me more. So we will see how in AWS it is happening. So as it said, AWS is providing many services, right? So the same three steps, as it said, monitoring data, gaining visibility, and managing access. How in Amazon Web Service it is happening? So the first step, monitoring data, which is CloudWatch. And what it's going to do, it will monitor all the EC2 instance and other AWS resources as well. And it also monitor the custom metrics which is available, and it will keep on all the logs. Okay, and it's also going to set the alarms, and it will react to resource changes, as it said in the very first step, monitoring data. So the system will know what the exact behavior is, and if there are any intended behavior, so it will react upon this. So if you used, or if you're going to use these services, you can able to understand much better. So there will be a graph and statistics and all, so you can able to see those things very easily. And gaining visibility, which is next step for what we saw here. So the phase two, right? So what it's going to do, the equivalent service offered by Amazon is, which is Amazon Cloud Trial. Okay, so it log the services, and it can be used to log the history of all the API calls, and it will keep track of all the information. It also identifies which user requested the particular service. So there should be some clear information, right? So with this Amazon Cloud Trial, you can able to identify which user or which IP address we can tell. So who identified or requested the who for the particular service. And it is also a tool to identify the attacker, or we can track some of the bad requests coming to the server, or we can find the root cause details, etc. So like that. And managing access, which is the third phase. For this we will be using AWS IAM, which is identity and access management. AWS IAM is a very famous service, we all know that. And identity and access management is the very important key factor when it comes to security. And AWS IAM is providing enhanced security, and it authenticates every user, and it will provide granular permission. So it restricts users from accessing unwanted resources that are limited to the user. Okay, so and secure access to applications running on EC2 environment. So obviously, when you're going to use IAM along with EC2, those applications will be very much secured with all the different services provided by Amazon AWS. So I'll be showing how those things would be. I'm using AWS free tier. So if you want, you can sign up, and you can use those things. You just need a card, and you just have to sign in, then your account will be activated. Please make sure you use only the free tier usage purpose alone. So if the free tier usage is exceeded, or if you forget to unsubscribe after 12 months, so you're going to be charged, and I'm not responsible for that, and Amazon team is also not responsible for that. Okay, I'm logging in now. V6 V3 D7 5. Logging in. Wait for a second. So I logged in now. So here you can see the list of services provided by AWS. So as I said, there are n number of services. I don't know even the count of total services that are available. So it's completely worth when you're going to learn it for free with this free tier purpose, and you're very much interested in cloud purpose. So you can kickstart with AWS, because that is also a e-learning platform for AWS. So I'll be talking on the AWS resources in the upcoming slide. So here it is. As it said already, it is present in the management and governance section. So first thing what we saw is, here it is. So CloudWatch. So here the CloudWatch service. Guys, if you have any questions, sorry. Okay, I'm audible, right? Any issues is in my audio? Fine, thank you. Okay, so this is how the CloudWatch console would be. It's loading. So here you can create alarm and logs, metrics, those things, etc. So AWS is like, learning AWS is like yeah, reading for a specific how we read engineering, specifically CSE, right, or IT. So it's going to take a lot of time, because they are having n number of services, as I said. So you need patience to learn all those things. So here you can see the dashboards and different types of options and menu items that are available in CloudWatch. So this is how the CloudWatch would be. Once you created a service, and you can monitor all those things, as it said, which are all the functionalities I have explained in the slide. So this is how the CloudWatch would be. So the next thing is, we can see cloud trial, which is for the gaining visibility phase. So this is how the cloud trial would be. So as it said, right, so it will monitor all the events in my AWS account what I'm using. So here you can see the overview, like I've deleted role, delete instance profile, remove role from instance. So the event history will be logged there. You can create your own trial, and you can get your hands-on experience. Like if you want to create a new S3 bucket, you can create, and you can use existing S3 bucket. Make sure you follow or you learn some of the basic concepts, and then go for it. Because if you not able to understand the very basic details, like if you don't know why we are going to use cloud trial, then if you are going to start using cloud trial, then it's of no use, right? So try to learn the basics of what are all the different services provided by AWS. The free resources is there. I will share you the URL, or we will discuss on the slides. Okay, fine. So the next one is AWS IAM. So today we will be seeing mostly in terms of AWS IAM only. Okay, so IAM will be here. One second. Where it is, storage containers. Okay, we can search here. So where it is, manage access to the AWS resources. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management Console. So I'll be showing to cloudgoat, which is a vulnerable cloud penetration testing lab. So I'll solve two challenges or two labs, I can say. So at that time you will able to understand what exactly happening in IAM Management Console. Okay, fine. So guys, that's it for the basic example what I wanted to convey. Yes, as it said, AWS pen testing. Now we are seeing the actual topic for the today's session, because if, as it said, no, though the basics are very important, so that I touch the basics first. So why AWS pen testing, or what is the seriousness of AWS pen testing? So pen testing methodologies will differ for all the cloud service providers, and all the or we can say cloud security differs from API security, and normal traditional security, or normal web application security. What we follow? What happened? My laptop is hanging because of collision. Okay, so the first point is identity and access management. Very important point, as it said. So why identity and access management is important is, what happened to this full screen mode? Is my screen is visible for in full screen mode, or can anyone tell me, or why it's happening like this? So, okay, fine. So the first one is identity and access management. So this is the first and most important step, or most important part. So why the IAM is very important? So here you will see about AWS keys, which is secret key, API key, etc., and implement two-factor authentication, and restricting the permission to the other accounts or service accounts, or low-level privileged user, we can say. And we will limit the use of one key per user, and delete the inactive security accounts, and you should regularly change the SSH and PGP keys. So and do not use the root account for daily task or automation, because if root account is compromised, everything is gone. So that's the main reason. And the next point is logical access control. So if you're going to follow the AWS IAM, and next step is also important. So in this phase only, you will assign different actions to the different resource. So you will control the entire applications of IAM, and different services that are involved. So it can be any resources or processes and different types of users. So if you take any organizations, there will be n number of users, right? So those things and all will be monitored and maintained, and the credentials should be secured and safe, and the credentials should keep on changing, or the credential strength should be high. Okay, so we can test these points also in AWS pen testing. And the next one is S3 buckets. So Amazon S3, we all know that simple storage service device, simple storage service buckets. So that is in short we call as S3 buckets, or we can call bucket in simply. So it's kind of a storage server. It will store all the informations like images or files for the web applications. While storing, you should be one should the server should encrypt, or the security level should be high. And the points what we should consider are the permissions we use, right? So the request, we can say get, put, delete, or list, and the http for the http methods. So these are all the very critical methods or very important methods. So these methods should be restricted only to the certain users. So what I'm meaning is, if you make it as a public, so there will be a lot of consequences. So you should able to restrict to certain users, or you should keep it as a private mode. Okay. And the logging and versioning of the bucket should also be enabled. So that's the S3 buckets. And the database service, this is also an important part for the web services. So the key points one should follow while we are using cloud is, so you should regularly back up your data, and also set the time for automatic backup for less than a week. So most of the organizations will perform automation testing or automation works, because the manual work will consume more time. So set the perfect time for the migrations or the backup, and use the multi is a deployment method, and limit the access to the specified IP addresses. If more than limited IP addresses are going to access the resource, so what is going to happen? There will be a slow response, or there are chances of packets or data loss, we can say. So we should also restrict the addresses, or users that's going to access the database service, or very important backend service, we can tell like that. So that's the another fourth point for AWS pen testing. There are also some of the tools, or they are using in AWS pen testing. So you can research on that, and you will find some of those tools with you can perform. And two more important concepts are there, or we can say types of AWS penetration testing. So, which is security of cloud and security in cloud. So, as I said, I covered this thing in the previous webinar which I delivered. So, if you want, you can download the slide and you can go through it. So this is also a very important concept for understanding about pen testing in cloud. Fine. So any questions, guys? What happened again? Problem with my full screen mode and the normal mode. Full screen mode. Yes, yes. I'm facing problem. I don't know. Maybe because of my internet. I'm in village, so I'm connected via mobile Wi-Fi. So that's the reason my laptop is hanging. Okay, fine. Guys, any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, fine. So we'll continue. Authentication. So as I said, when it comes to AWS services, so authentication is very much important. So there will be many keys, as I said. So knowing how to use those keys is a very much big deal. So when I started to learn AWS services, and when I setting up the AWS command line interface, I really struggled hard, because I don't know how exactly the things work. But then I learned yeah, bit later, and then I completely understood the purpose of for using those keys, and how those things are working. So yeah, that is how it will be when you are going to kickstart, and people struggle with. Oh, what happened? Sorry about that. People struggle with using the AWS CLI and inserting the AWS CLI keys as well. And there are also some misconceptions is happening around the keys are stored and used. So the one another example I would tell is, so there are developers who uh, hard code the keys just like that. They don't know the very critical impact that the key will create. So they forgot to delete it once the development has been done, or they have made it public in the S3 buckets, as it said. And in GitHub, they may have posted some of the keys details. So we'll also see that. So keys are very important. Once you got the keys, everything is compromised. So I'll show the thing. So we will create a first. We will see the, as it said, right, the cloud code security lab. So AWS IAM user. I will show the practical how to create a IAM user. Before that, the let me explain about the lab which I am solving. Cloud code CTF, here it is. So this is what I'm solving now. So what cloud code is here you can see. So it is designed by Rhino Security Labs, vulnerable by design. So it is intentionally vulnerable for AWS deployment. So there are many different scenarios out there. So I will solve two scenarios today. So be with me. If you have any questions, you can ask. I will share this thing. If any of you already solved or worked in AWS cloud or solved this cloud goat lab, let me know. I just got to know this thing, I think 3 weeks back, because just now I started and come to started learning to cloud security. So next thing is AWS IAM. So as I said, right, so now let me create a user. So I have added the steps. Once you created a free tier account, once you open AWS IAM console, go to services IAM and click on users. Before that, let it load. I am turning on my calling machine. Okay, fine. Yes, so I've already created a user. I just practiced myself. So now let's click on add users. I've entered all the commands here. So you can give any username, but make sure the name, what name you are giving is, it is very important, because the same exact keyword you should give in the AWS CLI while we configure. I made this bloody mistake, so I stood up like more than 1 hour and trying to figure out what exactly went wrong, and then I found out this. What I did was, so I will show this thing here. Cloud goat one, let's give. So here you can see, right, the user named cloud goat already exists. So here I have created a username like cloud goat, and in AWS CLI, what the mistake I did was, instead capital C, I put a small capital C. So that's where all the trouble is. So I got very much tensed, I got irritated, then only I found out. So please don't do this mistake if you're going to practice. And the access type is programmatic access, whereas it will have the it's going to give you a access key ID and secret access key for doing with for working with the AWS CLI. Next, attach existing policies directly. So give the administrator access, because that is what we need now. Click next. This is optional, so you can leave it just like that. Okay, now you got the you created the username, which is AWS IAM. So I'm going to create the user. Yes, done. So save this information so that you can access it easily. Yes, I'm already having two files here. So the details will be here, the key details. Yes, here it is. Okay, then. So this is how you should create a user in IAM management console. So we have created a AWS IAM user successfully. Next is we have to set up the cloudgoat, as it said, the Rhino Security Labs, and we have to set up pip and Terraform. I will also share the slide and links with you. So here I'm having the resources. So this is how you should set. I installed already, so I'm having I have written down the steps here. So go through it. If you got any error or if you have any questions, you can ask me anytime. So I'm happy to answer that. So this is how you should set up the cloud code. First, download from the GitHub. So this is the URL, as it said already, and posted. So copy this thing and go to your machine what you are using. You can see, right, I'm having cloud code already. If you just enter git clone followed by this URL, and it will be downloaded, then you have to follow the next steps what I have mentioned here. Yes, these two is very important because your machine may be outdated. Please do this 2 points. So update and upgrade the what I say, your machine or Kali Linux machine or Parrot machine what you're using, because once you've done that, the previous versions will be override, and so that you won't get any errors. If you didn't do this and skipped up because of any issues, so you're going to land in a big trouble. So there will be lots and lots of errors will pop you, and you have to keep on googling those errors, and you will really got frustrated and you will quit. So update and upgrade the machine, and then install python pip, or you can also tell python 3 pip. Once you installed this, I will show the directory, cloud code directory ham. So here it is, the requirement file will be there. So just type pip install, as we, if you have worked on any tools, you already know how to install the requirements file. So if you just copy this command and paste it, the requirements will be satisfied. Let me show you. My Kali machine is also visible, right, guys?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
Yeah, okay. I will take the questions after that, after the class, because we will be. So yes, as I said, right, I have already installed and I have already worked. So requirement already satisfied. It's showing the error. Okay, fine. So next is, so once you completed this point, just give the access permission file chmod u plus x cloudgoat.py. So that will enable you the permissions. Then steps to install the Terraform, which is on the Ubuntu. So first you need to install a unzip. So sudo apt-get install unzip, and latest version you can take it from here. And another mistake what I did while I am learning was, so I didn't took the latest version, I have taken the very old version. So because of that also it caused me trouble. So download from here the latest version, you can get in this website, which is 64-bit. then unzip that file, download and unzip. So that is why we are installing unzip here. Then move the executable into a directory, search for executable, so that you can access Terraform from the root folder. So move it and run Terraform to find the version. So this is the latest version. Yes, version 1.0.3. Okay. So once you set up all those things, you can go for the labs. And before that, you should also set up these things also. AWS CLI. So it's just a copy paste command. Just copy all those things and paste it in the terminal. And for finding the AWS version, AWS version, it will show you what AWS version you are using. The next thing is setting up the cloudgoat profile. Okay, so we downloaded and we set up the Terraform, installed the pip. So what next? So the next one is the setting up the cloudgoat profile. So the version which I'm using is CLI 2.2.20. Okay, so how you're going to set this? So yeah, okay, fine. So once you install, you just have to do this thing, /cloudgoat.py config profile. Someone told me to increase the font size. Is it better now? Okay, fine. So the AWS version, so this is how you should check. And what I was talking. Yes, so for setting up /cloudgoat.py config, you just have to config now, config profile. So here it is asking, right? So the point what I told was, so while configure, it will ask like this: would you like to specify a new default profile name for the configuration file now? So I'm just giving y, and I'm going to enter the default AWS profile name. So here you should be very careful and give the exact name what you have created as a user here, which is cloudgoat1. So in this scenario only, I was telling that I made a mistake and I figured out later. Oh, oh shit. That is cloud code one. So yes, once this is set up, then you just have to configure the IP address purpose for that thing. Whitelist those things. So why we are doing this is when your network is changed. What happened? I think I made a config. So profile will not. Yeah. So if your internet connection is changed or every time, so it will be automatically fetched. So it's created with the my machine's IP address. So that's the reason we are doing this. Next thing is this is how we should configure the cloud code lab. So here also I will give us cloudgoat1. So because that is the name, at that time you will see it will ask for some of the keys. Cloudgoat1. Let me make sure this is correct. Yes. So it's asking, right? So AWS access key ID. So I'm going to copy from here. Pasting it. Next, it's going to ask for the secret access key, also pasting this. It can be default by default, so I'm giving as it is. So we configured finally. So this is the struggle we should face when solving. Yes. So the next thing is the very first lab, which I have told already is I am going to solve this thing, which is IAM Priv, which stands for privilege escalation by rollback method. So it's okay. Starting with a highly limited identity and access management users, the attacker is able to review previous IAM policy versions and restore one which allows full admin privileges. That's going to result in a privilege escalation exploit. So what I have already told about IAM is, so it's going to restrict for different types of user, right? So there will be a different privileges. So now the attacker is going to review the previous versions. If he once he got the keys, and he's going to restore one, and he's going to completely change the version, and then going to take over or going to escalate the privileges. So the pre-available resources, what we need is limited user access keys. So the keys we have got it already. How to solve this is, so let me dot slash cloudgoat.py. Once you are familiar with this thing, you can remember the commands easily. Sometimes tab will also work. It's going to take time for creating. So as it said, right, the whitelist.txt file will have my IP address, and it will fetch from the config.yml, and it's creating the program or the lab what they have set up. The cloud code security lab is going to take all those things, and it will show you complete details. We have to wait for some time. Create a, yes, you can see it now, right? So these are all the changes to output. The resources created automatically. Once it created, so there will be a text file. It will display as an output. We have to wait for that. It's still creating. Yes, as it said, right? So the text file is created here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copying this, and let's read what's inside the text file. So this is the output. So you can see, right, the output policy ARN, and this is a user which is Rainer, and is the user's access key ID and the user secret key. Okay, so and the username which is Reynolds CGI. This is the thing. Just copy all those things. We will require all those things later purpose, so that we do not need to type and run the command every single time. I'm making a text file CG1. So this is the very basic information. The next one is, okay, so next we have to give those details for this, for that AWS. You just have to configure again. sorry, configure profile. You can give any name, so I'm just giving Rakesh E. So it's asking for the AWS access key ID, so we can take from here what we have copied. Access key first we need to take. Next it will ask for the secret access key. Take from here. So default can be anything. Yes, once it is done, how you can verify is by this command AWS STS. It will give you the profile information of the user. I think the tab is not working. Okay, color identity profile. The username what you have used, which is Rakeshi. So yes, it's done. So it's showing successfully. The user ID is this, and the account and the ARN details. So next, what we do is AWS IAM. So guys, these are the commands what we use to solve in or we work in AWS CLI. So this will be very vague. Once you started experience, you can feel this is very much easy to learn or practice. I'm going to find out the attached user policies. So the username we got already, right? So as it said, so this is going to be the username. So we will copy this information also and have it here. We need only the username now to find out the info. So this is going to be the username. I'm copying this. Then in the username, paste this thing followed by followed by the name which you have given. So this command will list the attached user policies for this username, right? Okay. So it show the result, the CG Raynor policy and the policy ARN number. Okay, so we will see AWS IAM get user profile. Yes, so these are all the profiles which is in having in this lab. We can see the name is, I mean the value is CG Raynor, that is the profile, and I'm privilege escalation by rollback. So this is the lab what we are solving and cloudgoat. So these are all the user that is having in this key with this help with this keys. And next what we can see is will list the user details. Yes, so these are all the users details which is listed now. We can check groups, roles, etc. So I'll show one by one. We are already running out of time also. I'll quickly solve. I think the groups there won't be any groups. Yes, so no group. So guys, yeah, every time you take output, make sure you copy and paste it somewhere else so that you don't need to run the command every time again. So for time being, I'm not doing that. Next, we can see the roles that are available. So AWS IAM list roles. We saw the groups and users. So these many roles are available now. If you go through this, there will be one such rule called as AWS Trusted Advisor. Yes, here it is, right? So AWS service role for trusted advisor. So this seems to be fishy, or this seems to be have some kind of very important data. So we are going to take this role name, and there are different roles is also out there. Fine. We have taken the name, right? So what next we are going to do is, so we will see the role policies for the user what we have chosen, like for the service role trusted advisor. For that, AWS IAM list. I don't know why the attached. You're going to need the policies, right? So list attached to role policies. You just have to now give the role name, the name which I copied, which is AWS Service Trusted Advisor. Next, hyphen profile, usual thing, what we have created. For the purpose of privilege escalation, we are doing this kind of things. By end, you got to know what exactly is happening. So we have found out the particular policy ARN for this policy name, which is AWS Trusted Advisor Service Role Policy, and we have got this thing. Next, we will see attached. We will similarly also see the user policy. Now we saw the role policy, right? So list attached user policy for the user. I'm sorry, user policies. Instead role name, you just have to give the username and the name of the user. We know already, which is, once again, deleting this. So this is going to be the user for us now. So we give this also copy. Yes, paste it, enter. Yes, for the policy name, so we got this thing now. For similarly for policy ARN also we got. And what next? We will going to display the policy versions, and the final step is privilege escalation. So AWS IAM. Now let's list all the different policy versions. So for that, give list policy version command followed by, sorry, versions. So there will be different versions, policy ARN, and copy this thing, ARN AWS. This is it, right? This complete thing. Control Shift C. Paste it here. Then the usual thing. we are listing the policy version now. So next command would be get the different policy version. So as I said, there are 5 different versions here. So if you want to check any one of the version, what you can do is, so we have to change the command slightly. So instead list, we need to type as get policy version, not versions, and the ARN would be same. And after that, we need to enter the version ID which we need, that is version ID, followed by, if we want to see v1, we can enter v1 hyphen hyphen profile Rakesh. Yes, so this is all the different informations that is having for this policy. So in depth, we don't want to go. So let's see all the different versions and find out the vulnerable one where we can edit and change the default policy. Let's look at v2 now. Sorry. Yes, so this is what we need. So the action star means it can be anything. So action is anything, and effect is allow, and resource is also anything. So here we can change the default permission, and we can able to bypass that. Okay, so let's change this thing. Before that, if we want to give or create a user from CLI, so let me show you. Create user name. I am just creating it as Rakesh Elamaran. So it will not allow now. Why? Because of the permissions. The permissions is restricted, and we didn't escalated the privileges yet. So it will throw you an error record, access is denied. So we are going to bypass this, and we are going to escalate the privileges. So for that, AWS IAM set the default policy version to the version 4 big, sorry, version 2, I think. Yeah, because that is vulnerable. Set default, sorry, policy version, the same commands hyphen hyphen policy ARN and the ARN number, and followed by version ID, and which is version 2. Next, this thing, yes. So we are going to make this as a default policy version, which is version 2. Why? Because this is the version which allows any action, any effect. It's also, sorry, any resource. So I think it is set now. Yes. Now let's create the user. Yes, boom. So as it said, right? So we escalated the privilege, and we created the user name, which is Rakesh Elamaran, what I typed already. So once we escalated up to this level, the entire IAM is in our control. So we created the user, we can modify anything, and we did a privilege escalation. So this is the very first lab thing I wanted to tell. So guys, any questions on this? Because this is completely new topic for all of you, or some of you may have worked on this. So if you have any questions, you can ask. The recording will be sent by the OWASP Vellore chapter team to your registered mail IDs. Don't worry about that. And I will also share the my GitHub URL and the PPT resources, etc., and the commands what I have used. So I will prepare that, and I didn't have enough time, so I will create in this git in my GitHub profile, and I will share the thing also. You can take go to my GitHub account, and in cloud security repo you can find the thing. Maybe after this webinar, 30 to 1 hour, you can see find the commands what I have used here. So guys, any questions now? Okay, then we will. Yeah, the very important point is, if you're using a AWS free tier account and you're solving this labs and all, don't forget to destroy what you have created. For that, /cloudgoat.py, you, if you didn't destroy, so you will be charged. So again, I'm telling, I'm not responsible for that. So once you have to destroy, why? Because so you are using the AWS resources still with your account, right? So it is restricted or it is limited. So if you forget this thing, so it will be completely waste, and you will be charged, because you also give the card details while sign up for the account. So this is an important step. If you want to do it back again, you can do it by just following the same commands. Yes, so it's destroyed now, so I can't use all those things now. If I have to use, I have to do it from the beginning. Okay, so yes, so next we will see. Next we'll go to the, okay, the second lab is just 10 minutes we will complete. So the second lab is a cloud breach S3. So starting as an anonymous outsider with no access or privileges, exploit a misconfigured reverse proxy server to query the EC2 metadata service and acquire the instance profile key. So what they are telling is, what this lab is about is, so you will be a complete outsider, so you don't have any access or the privileges. By gaining access into the EC2 server, metadata server, and you're going to get the profile keys. Then you're going to discover, and you're going to access the very sensitive information. So that's it about this lab. And pre-available resources, there should be an EC2 instance launched in the AWS server. Okay, so that is the pre-mandatory resource what we need. I'm closing this. I don't need. Yes, so I think it is destroyed completely now. Clear my screen. Yes, cool. So what next is, so for that what we have to do, the same command, like same command in the sense, for starting the same command like dot, I'm sorry, cd. I just have to go to my cloud code folder. Then you just have to create the lab which I have told, sorry, cloud breach S3. So it is also going to take some of the time, because it's going to deploy all the loaded informations, and it's going to take time. So yes, let this machine start. In the meantime, we will cover this slide. Yeah, so the common S3 misconfigurations are, so the permission, once again, let me make it as a full screen. Yes, so there are majorly, these are all the reasons why S3 misconfiguration is happening. First one is the permission. So we'll solve this and you got to know. And when you deploy your S3 bucket, you should mainly take care of the permission. If bucket is publicly accessible and all files hosted in the bucket, it can be accessed by any part of the application. So the main problem is anyone can find the bucket by name easily. So there are, if you are a WAPT person, you know how to hunt for the S3 misconfiguration, and there are many tools available. So S3 bucket finder, that is a tool. So with those things, you can find, the attackers can find the bucket easily, and they will have the complete access. So the permission is very important. And the second point is encryption. On processing the sensitive data, so encryption is very crucial. So it is highly recommended for to to encrypt and then implement the protected data, so that once you encrypt it, so it will be difficult for attackers to crack. And once it is implemented, it will protect the data from the attackers or the unauthorized people who is trying to access. And the third one is audit logs. So S3 buckets by default do not save the audit logs. Okay, if you are mistakenly open the bucket to the public while creating, you will not be able to review who accessed which files. So that's the major common misconfiguration which is happening. And next thing is, it should be turned on for all buckets that contain sensitive data. So if you are going to store some of the sensitive information, don't the lock should be turned on, and encryption should be there, and it should not be public. Okay, so remember all those things. And data classification, we can share some data to be accessed publicly, right? So if there is a company or website is there, so we can't protect all the informations within ourselves, right? So we have to show some of our valuable product details or static images and some of other details to the users, right? So we can share some details to the public. So we should classify which one is protected and which one is sensitive data, and you should determine the data properly, and keep them aside as keep them in different folders, we can say. Don't combine or don't mix. So if the static images, and we all know that will be a FAQ section, so those things and all, the public should know. So for that purpose, the data classification should be done properly. And so yes, this is the common check S3 misconfiguration. I think the lab would have been started by now. Yes, what happened? Yes, cool. So cat, yeah, the same command we are going to identify. We're going to see what is present here. Yes, as I said already, the account ID and the EC2 server IP, which is 3.227.244.133. So that is a question. So you got an IP address now. What most people would do, or what you do once you got to know the IP address? Anyone? The very first thing after you get the IP address, what you will do? If you are security people, you must have people who have know this already. Guys, come on, interact with me. Feel free to talk. Yes, can port scanning, exactly. With the Nmap we can do, and we will try to find the, yes, Nmap. The information gathering, we can say the very first phase, checkout services which are running out. Yes, find open port. Exactly, exactly. Thank you for answering. What I was coming to say was, I expected minimum 30 to 40 people for this webinar, but unfortunately only few joined. No problem on this. I think this recording can be given to the students or professionals who registered. So yes, yes, the very first step is that thing only. So we will see. Uh, First Nmap. So okay, I think we can start from here. 3.227.244.133. So it started scanning. And also you can check what is this. Yeah, you can also check the IP address by entering into your browser, so you can find whether the website is, you can get any home page or any secret informations and all for you to access. Nmap scan results would have been over by now. Yes, so the port 22 and 80 is open. Okay, 3.227 dot, what's the thing, 140, sorry, 244.133, right? 244.133. So let's see if there are topic. Okay, super. So it's not working. Fine. Okay, the very next thing is we got to know the open ports and we entered the IP and tried for getting the website. So it's not happening now. So what we can do next is, so we will use call command. Call TTP. Let me copy the IP address. I may need this. Let's check now. Yes, you can see, right, the server is configured to proxy request to the EC2 metadata service. Please modify your request host header and try again. So they have given the clue. So we just have to modify the host header and we have to insert host header and then we can try again. So which is now call HTTP followed by IP address. Now add your host header. So I will enter this IP 169.254.169.254. Why I'm entering this IP? So we should know this thing. 169.254.169.2. Yes, so this is by default. If we all know that some classes of IP address and all, so they will be reserved for the purpose of multicasting and for the research purposes, right? So this is kind of the same thing. They have specifically allotted for retrieving the instance from the metadata. So this won't. This is by default, so it cannot be changed. So that is about 169.254.169.254. Okay, so that is why I have entered this IP. Let's enter now. Yeah, we got the details, right? So it's cool, right? So now we can go to any folders and we can find out other stuff. So I'm going to latest now, which is latest. Yes, there is a file called metadata. So we will see what's in there. Yes, so now the very important folder, IAM. So we will go to that, because in IAM only we can able to find the very sensitive details and those things and all. Now there is a folder called as security credentials. Here you can see info and security credentials. So we will see this thing. What happened? Okay. Sometimes this problem will also will happen. Let me just copy this. Yes, call followed by IAM. The folder name is security credentials, right? Yes, so this is the thing, CG banking WAF role, some kind of data they are having here. So we will get that thing now, security credential. I'm copying this. Oh shit, made a mistake. Security credentials followed by the name. Yes. Okay, so we got the entire information what we need, right? So the access key ID, secret access key, and the token. So let's copy this whole thing and let's have it in a file. Okay, Control Shift C. I'm keeping it here itself. Okay, so we got this detail. So what next we should do is there should be a folder for accessing the root keys. I think that is in. Give me a second. The root folder I have forgot. Hmm, config. Okay. Before I could just got to. Yes, so these are all the very different scenarios that are present, or we can say different labs I have told, right? So now we are solving the cloud breach S3 one, and EC2 SSRF is the another one, and I am privileged by attachment, Lambda privileged, and code build secrets, EC2 EFS attack. I am privileged by rollback, and we solved, and the RCE web app. So these are all the different scenarios. Yeah, so this is also I wanted to convey. So the file would be here. There is a folder called, yes, here it is, AWS, and what are all we have? Yeah, credentials. So we need to store this info what we got. Yeah, okay, my bad. I got it there, right? So the what are all the purposes we have given, right? Cloud Code 1 and Rakesh. So those details are stored here, and once we the details what from, let's take from here, let's take the token, exact token from here. Let's copy and paste it as AWS session token equal, and let's paste it here. Now save. Let's open it again now. Fine. Yeah, we have loaded the session token now. Let's try to access it. by AWS IAM Git. What is the profile? Which is it is here. I got confused. It will show you access denied now. Oh, an error occurred. Okay, the security token included in the request is invalid. Why? What happened? Yes, guys. So this is how the problem would be. You have to figure out. I didn't get any error previously. Let me try to figure out what went wrong. Sorry about that. The bad time. Okay. My bad. So before that, we have to configure those things. So yes, I forgot this. We didn't create the user, right? So that is why all those problems. Let's create as hacker. Now give the details like what we have found from here. Let's take the access key. Yeah, I finally figured out. And next the secret key. So these are all we got while we solving this. So this is this. Oh shit, I'm in hurry. Control C. This is why you should copy and paste it in Notepad. If not, you will land in a serious trouble. So sorry about this. Yes, now I have configured and given the details out here. Let's get the user now. What we have created. Sorry, got right. Yeah, though we will change this. We have to change the security token right now. So yeah, my bad. So here it is, the hacker one, access key ID and secret access key. Let's load the token now. So get the token. Okay, another equal to so that, right? Control C. This, we have to paste it here in the credentials. Enter AWS session token which is equal and paste here. Yes, done. Now I have saved. Now this thing should work. Because of I wrongly configured and didn't created this thing. Yes, so we can get access denied, right? So we will bypass this thing quickly, and that's the for that AWS. I'm just clearing my screen. What name we have created? In this name only we have created. In the meantime, I need to create a local folder for taking my output. Yes, here we got the details, right? The bucket detail, which is CG card holder data bucket. Let me create a folder in my desktop. Dump. Fine. Now AWS S3 sync. So here you have to enter your bucket name, what you have found, followed by the output folder for dumping the data. I have created a folder called as dump. So and then give the profile name what you have created, which is hacker1. So the data will be dumped here. So we will see what data we dumped from this bucket. You will be shocked because those are all the sensitive data. Because of this small misconfiguration, the very serious issue has happened. So the data is dumped now. We'll go to the directory. So these are all the 4 files. So card holder data primary.csv. We will see the file card holder data prime. Yes. So here you can see, right, the ID, first name, last name, email, gender, IP address, and address, city, state, zip. So which leads to the massive information disclosure or PII leakage, we can say personally identifiable information. So this is how the breaches are happening, and this is about this lab. Okay, this is a very sensitive information about the user. Once you get this, you can access or you can uh, blackmail the users, blackmail the companies for no intentions. The some of the hackers will be do, right? The phone pay breach, sorry, phone pay mobiquick breach, we know how it has happened. So this is how the small things, and due to the small misconfiguration in AWS S3 bucket, so the seriousness of the small mistake happened is I have exploited this by this lab. So this is the again lab. That is what about this. Okay, then we'll quickly conclude. So these are all the different ways the credentials are compromised. So first one I have told already, by Git repository misconfiguration. The developers will write the keys and some other details in Git, and also by social engineering they will just claiming to be a original organization, and they will ask for the some of the sensitive details like AWS keys details and all. So we should also be careful and reusing the leaked password. So once your account passwords are compromised, you should change it, and you should able to keep it more secure. And breaches in third party applications, and due to this also credentials are compromised, and also internal threats. So for best practices, what we can do, The logging is very important and best practice. And choose your cloud service provider wisely. So first understand what your CSP will provide and what they can offer, and then go for it. Encrypt the data that are in rest, in motion, and in use. So, and check all the permissions strictly. Perform consistent misconfiguration audits, and create and apply the strong security policies. So the it is again important. And conduct awareness training for employees. So the hackers will be played by the internal employees. So they will just manipulate them, and from there they will get the root access, and use security tools as an automated remediation. And these are all the few key trends. The shift toward the cloud is unstoppable now, and it's growing. And there is also a lot of demands for skilled security professionals in cloud as well. And infrastructure as a service and software as a service have highest tech growth rates. By 2022, the cloud adoption would be double. They are expecting the percentage from now. Why the cloud security is now famous? Because of COVID-19. Because that is where every small companies and big tech companies moved to cloud and adopted to cloud services. The mentality become now cloud first to cloud now is become more common. So these are all the free and resources training. So I will share the slide, you can check and enroll in this thing. Azure certification training. Just copy the URL and paste it in your web browser. There will be a Google form. So I think they are providing this Azure certification training. And http flask.cloud, flask2.cloud, and cloudgoat CTF. This is what I have solved today. So this is the free resources, and also AWS training. So this is what I told you already. So this is kind of free education where you learn more about AWS products and services. And you can create an account, you can get started, and there will be a paid certification too, and there are some free certifications too. See, these are all the different. I have completed some of the certifications, and I have got some good knowledge on AWS cloud now. So this will be in terms of completely in terms of AWS services, but for different cloud service providers it's almost going to be same, but the name would be different. So with this lot of AWS resources, I decided to kickstart with AWS. So that's the reason. AWS training, I you can add in that thing in the resources slide. Okay, so these are all the resources and free training. And check out this danis.cloud 10 best free day. There will be some very good material. Yes, that's it guys for today's session. Thank you for attending. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. And this is my website. You can check about me. This is my LinkedIn ID. You can connect with me and you can ask your questions if you have. And this is my Twitter handle. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time. So can we take the questions now? Any questions? Feel free to ask. I am happy to answer. Due to some problem in the again lab, the time got extended by 20 minutes. Sorry about that. You can check my speaker deck profile. So I will upload the slide here and I will share to the OWASP Vellore team, and they will send you the slides into your registered mail ID also. Or else you can check in my speaker deck profile. You can also go through some of my previous talks if you're really interested. Yes. AWS certified solution architect certification is necessary for this. For what? For learning this. It's not at all necessary. It's what you are going to decide. So if you are going to uh, plan to work in AWS cloud, you can learn from the AWS free resources, and you can pay for the course or pay for the certification, and you can get your certification. Certification is kind of showing that you have gained this knowledge, and it's not at all going to help like 20 percentage. So what matters is a skill. If you paid for certification and got the certification, it obviously going to like how we can say like plus 10 points for your profile or resume. So just like that. So make sure you first cover with all the free resources, and then you go for the paid certification. That is what I follow every single time. The certification which I am doing CPENT, that is also my company is sponsoring for me. So that's the main reason I am doing that, and I wanted to complete that certification because I'm in this professional now. I'm going to audit some of the test some of the client websites also. So I'm in need of certification, professional certification. So initially I learned everything with the free resources, and I got to develop my knowledge with some of my community friends and the free resources. Yes, thanks Aparna P, informative session. Thank you Rakesh and team. So thank you Vijay bro and Vellore chapter team for having me today. I'm very happy that um, few people who attended today will got to know about the cloud security and its importance. Thanks guys, thank you. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I have a question. You entered something like was configured, then you got access key ID. What was that actually? Could you please explain? At what scenario exactly asking? Can you help me to identify? AWS configure hyphen profile at that time. I got the access key ID and those details because it is intentionally vulnerable. So for in real time scenarios, if you got the AWS keys, then only you can proceed all the next steps. Please remember the thing. Mistyped AWS configure. Yes. So at the time of creating IAM user, so I already told. So you will get the access key ID and secret access key. By first, initially you can configure with this thing for practice purpose. So this is how the organizations will also do. If by any chance you have found out this key leakages by any of the methods what I said, so from there you can escalate the further process what I conveyed today. I think this answers your question. Yes, welcome. Anyone else? Feedback problem with the feedback form, it seems. Okay, they have resolved now, I think. Try now. Okay, okay, bro. Thanks, bro. Thank you, team. Bye bye.